that one. I think CeeDee Lamb could thrive in the Kyle Shanahan offense, Thomas.
Well, think about this. They already have decent receivers, but they don't have the guy at wide receiver. Yes, Deebo Samuel. He was great last year, but is he a true number one? Not really. Jalen Hurd didn't play last year with the back injury. Maybe he becomes a good wide receiver, but that's yet to be seen. Other than those two, what are you working with? Kendrick Bourne? I mean, he's a wide receiver 3? And Trent Taylor, Marquise Goodwin's on the trade block right now. They really do not have a true number one wide receiver. And when you think about San Francisco, where's the weakness? They're great at linebacker. They're great at offensive line. They're great at defensive line. They're great at running back. They're great everywhere but wide receiver. It just makes too much sense to not go anywhere but there. And that's, again, why I'm going to think to go with CeeDee Lamb.
We also want to welcome in our YouTube audience on our 49ers Report channel. We got Thomas Mott joining us. I think there was a technical issue earlier. Welcome in. The Niners are on the clock as we simulcast on our main Chat Sports channel and on our 49ers Report channel as well. Thomas, you can repeat it for those who just came in. You're excited that CeeDee Lamb is still on the board for San Francisco, huh?
Like I said, whenever we jumped on here, I honestly put it at like a 30% chance that Lamb would be there at number 13 overall. I thought for sure he would go earlier. I thought there was a case that Jacksonville at 9 could take him, and they decided not to. The fact that wide receivers have not really gotten going yet besides Henry Ruggs is great news for 49er fans. Could they trade this pick? Obviously, still 3 minutes to go on the clock. Yes, they could, and just go ahead and wait to 31 to get maybe a cornerback at number 31 overall. It all depends on how big Kyle Shanahan and GM John Lynch are on Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb right here. Again, could they trade back? Yes, they could, and they could get a second-round draft pick, maybe another first-round draft pick. It all depends if they're as high on CeeDee Lamb as I am, and I think that they are from everything I've heard.
Well, Thomas, I think you might have to stick around for a little bit longer than planned because the 49ers are not keeping this pick after all.
No way! They traded it.
They've traded it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are sliding up to number 13 overall, possibly for a receiver. Right? Only just a one spot here. So, Thomas, do you like this move knowing we don't know yet what the Niners got back?
Listen, this is a great move. Let me just tell you right now, they're only going back one spot. Tampa's probably coming up for an offensive lineman to help out Tom Brady. So San Francisco saw a scenario where they could move back one spot in the NFL draft, pick up extra draft picks, and they're still going to get their wide receiver or Javon Kinlaw of choice there at defensive tackle. I don't know what they got for this. My guess is probably a second or third round draft pick because they're only going back one spot. This is great. If you're a Niner fan, you love this because you're going back, you're getting an extra pick, whatever it is. Even if it's a fourth-round draft pick, which it's not going to be, it'll be a little bit higher than that. If it's a third-round draft pick, you move back one spot. We know Tampa's not going to get a wide receiver. They have way too many good wide receivers, and they're probably not getting a defensive tackle either. This is the dream draft. I'm going to keep saying it. The Niners have had everything go their way, and it's happened again. A great trade. I'm shocked that Tampa felt the need to come up ahead of them, though. That's what blows my mind.
Wonder if there was a different team further down trying to move up for them. So now the Bucs are on the clock. Matt, I'll let you hang out here. I think you and I are on the same page. This has to be Tristan Wirfs, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be. Brady obviously needs an offensive lineman. If you go ahead and look at Tampa Bay's roster right now, I mean, you can talk about their defense needing some help, but when you get Tom Brady at the age that he is at, you obviously need to go ahead and protect him. They have great wide receivers. They need a running back maybe later on in the NFL draft. Oh, we get the official numbers in right now. 117 overall is what I'm hearing for the 49ers in terms of getting this trade. That's a great trade overall. I love it.
Yeah, here are the details here. The Bucs also picked up 245 overall, which is one of the last picks this year.
That's fine.
Whatever. The Niners get 14 and 117. That is an early fourth-round pick. I think this is a great move by San Francisco. A little surprised on Tampa's front, but I think you're on the same page as me, Thomas.
Well, and like you said, it must have been someone was trying to come up to go ahead and get an offensive lineman. That's the only reason why Tampa Bay would go ahead and try and move up one spot to secure their guy. Tampa's probably sitting here with the best offensive lineman, in their opinion, still on the board, and they said, you know what, we'll go up. It'll cost us a fourth-round draft pick. We'll go ahead and grab the offensive lineman. I bet you whenever GM John Lynch picked up the phone and Tampa said, hey, we'll give you a fourth to move up one spot, he was like, duh, of course I'm going to do that. It's about as good as you could possibly ask for. And this, again, protects San Francisco from another team trying to come up to get a wide receiver. There are a lot of teams towards the backside of the NFL draft. I mean, Oakland there at 18, they might not need another wide receiver, but that's an option. Miami's later on in the later teens. Philadelphia definitely needs one at number 21. Those are teams that could have come up ahead of San Francisco and gotten a CeeDee Lamb or a Jerry Jeudy. And now the Niners have moved back. They pick up an extra pick, but they also, like we talked about, protect themselves from someone else coming up to steal that wide receiver. This is great. The question is now going to be, who will it be? Could they shock me at least and take Javon Kinlaw? I don't know where you're at on Javon, Tom. I like him. I just don't think it's a need on that Niner defensive front.
Yeah, I think the big issue for Kinlaw is some medical stuff. I know the Jags liked him. He could be a pick at number 20, but I think medical could be a big issue there for Kinlaw. If I'm the Niners, I'm going receiver. I can find a big run stuffer later on. That's the route I would go if I were San Francisco.
We got to remember with the 49ers, too, the whole point about us talking about trading back is they only had 7 picks in the entire NFL draft and none on day 2. I mean, second, third, fourth round, they had nothing. I mean, the Niners could do nothing to get back into that round after the first round was over because they only have a couple of 5th to 6th, just late round draft picks. So now they have something to look forward to on Wednesday, or not on Wednesday, in the 4th round, I should say. They're in the 4th round, which maybe you can get a good player. It's a lot better than getting someone in the 6th or 7th round. And so overall, San Francisco has added an extra pick. They did lose a later round one, 245 overall. Like we said, not a big deal, but overall it should be fine.
Pick is in. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have taken Tristan Wirfs. He was my number 1 tackle this year. It's a perfect fit for what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they needed a right tackle. Tristan Wirfs, I thought, was the best overall tackle this year. He is an absolutely fantastic athlete, elite athlete. In terms of like comp here, I think Lane Johnson type of athlete. Now, maybe he's not that good in the NFL, but he played great at Iowa, played some right, played some left tackle as well. He's a very good athlete. There were some off-the-field stuff, arrested for being underage at a bar, an OWI charge for operating one of those motor scooters, all while underage. I wonder if the NFL wanted to play him at guard. I am playing him at tackle. I think this is a really good move here by the Bucs. Yeah, you gave up that 4th-round pick, but getting him at 13 is really good value for the Bucs. I'm a huge fan of this pick. This is an A grade for me. You got my number 1 tackle. That's worth giving up that extra 4th-round pick if you're the Bucs. So well done, Tampa. You've taken care of your right tackle need to help protect Tom Brady, which at his age, you absolutely had to do. So, Mott, what do you think of this pick here as we move forward here to the Niners in just a little bit?
Listen, first off, this pick for Tampa Bay, I think, is exactly what they needed to do. You mentioned it. You hit it on the head. Wirfs might have been, he still might be the best offensive tackle in the entire draft. He falls again for the reasons that you mentioned. But the big deal is that Tom Brady gets an offensive lineman. And we know Brady can still play at a very, very high level, even though there are some people in Boston that are going to try and tell you, oh, no, we traded Tom Brady at just the right, or I guess got rid of Tom Brady, released him at just the right time, didn't re-sign him. No, Brady can still play, and there's a reason that Tampa Bay decided to go ahead and get him, and then they get Rob Gronkowski, and now what do? You got to protect Tom Brady somehow, and that's what they went ahead and did by going ahead and trading up 1 spot. And again, I look at this from a Niner perspective. You give a 4th-round draft pick, but Tampa Bay, you're only giving up a 4th-round draft pick. It's really not that bad, and coming up to get the offensive lineman that you want. I think the Buccaneers right now are easily the favorite in the NFC South, and let's be honest, I mean, the entire NFC is as loaded as they come. Every single division is very, very good. Tampa Bay is going to be one of the odds-on favorites to go ahead and win not only that division, but be competitive in the NFC.
An extremely impressive athlete and a very good right tackle goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was the trade that got them to number 13 to make sure they acquired their guy. So everyone in the comments, go ahead and grade this pick A, B, C, D, or F. I love it a lot. I am giving it an A.
I give it an A as well. I think an A for both teams as well. If you're a Niner fan, it's an A as well.
All right, so the top 4 tackles are now off the board, all of them with the Bucs getting Tristan Wirfs. All right, so the Niners now, after trading down once, they are back on the clock. And, Mott, you can still get your guy. As a reminder, we are simulcasting on our main YouTube channel and our 49ers Report channel, which, Thomas Mott, you are the host of.
Yep, and right now you see on your screen, obviously, the next 4 picks, San Francisco still ahead of Denver. The next team that would need a wide receiver is the Denver Broncos right there. And so it looks like Denver will probably get whatever San Francisco decides to not do at wide receiver. So if this is Lamb, you expect Jeudy there at 15. If this is Jeudy, then you probably expect Lamb there at number 15 overall. And then if we know Atlanta's going to go defense. When you go back to San Francisco and this pick, I mentioned this way whenever we jumped on like 10 minutes ago. They don't have a lot of holes on this team. This was a team that had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're great on the defensive line and losing to Forrest Buckner. They're really good at cornerback despite a lot of people hating on Emmanuel Mosley. Safety, they're fine. Offensive line, Joe Staley's coming back. They're going to be okay. Running back, they're elite. Everywhere you look, they are good. The only spot that needs to be filled is wide receiver, and that's why this pick to me a perfect match for CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma, a guy I've seen in person, a guy I've covered many, many times. He is the real deal. He's a deep threat. He's a game wrecker, and he's a guy that can take the top off of a defense. And you add that to the San Francisco 49er offense, and good Lord, like, what more could you want? You got to think repeat again of NFC West champs. I love CeeDee Lamb here at 14. Tom, are you in agreement with Lamb at 14, or are you more of a Jeudy guy?
I think Jeudy would thrive in the Kyle Shanahan offense, but so would CeeDee Lamb, right? Like, I don't think there's really a wrong pick here for San Francisco. The chance of getting either of those guys as a number one player as a receiver, I should say, is a great idea for San Francisco. If you want some quick comps here, I think CeeDee Lamb kind of plays like a DeAndre Hopkins. Great after the catch, great in terms of the contested catches as well. Jerry Jeudy, meanwhile, he just gets open with ease. Like, he's an Odell Beckham caliber route runner. I think either of those guys for San Francisco here at number 14, for already trading down once, would be a great move.
Well, the question now is going to be, will Jerry Jeudy fall? And you mentioned all the great things about him. And again, a lot of people are high on Jerry Jeudy. He was great at Alabama. But I do think that knee injury, despite the doctor saying he's going to be okay, could technically maybe make him fall. Like, if Denver goes Justin Jefferson at 15, then you will see the free fall of Jerry Jeudy.
All right. By the way, Super Chat just came in from Josh Monagold. Josh, we know you want to announce the Cowboys pick. If you want that to happen, I need you to DM at Chat Sports on Instagram or Twitter right now. Do it right now at Chat Sports. We'll put the link in there if you need it, but you can just go to Instagram.com/Chat Sports. Look us up. Twitter.com/Chat Sports. Either of those, DM at Chat Sports right now so we can get that set up for you at number 17 overall. We appreciate that Super Chat. The Cowboys pick is coming up here a little bit, so go do that right now, Josh. I know you're still paying attention. But meanwhile, Ma, you got CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy. You're all aboard the Lamb train, huh?
Yep. CD down below is what I would be typing right now. But let me just say this. Okay. 1:56 left, and they have not announced the pick yet, which means maybe they weren't as high on CeeDee Lamb as I thought that they would be, or are they trying to trade back again? This is what happened just a couple of picks ago. They're at number 13 overall. They waited till the end, and they moved back. If they're not sold on CeeDee Lamb, which, again, I am, but I'm not John Lynch, right? I'm not Kyle Shanahan. I'm not an NFL head coach. If they're not sold on him, they might want to try and trade back, because a second-round draft pick is a very interesting prospect to go ahead and add. And, again, there are great wide receivers in this draft. Denzel Mims in the second round, Chase Claypool in the second round, Laviska Shenault in the second round. Those can all be available if you did want to trade back. It's interesting that it's taken so long for San Francisco to make this pick.
I am told by that the Niners are not dragging this out for a player. Instead, they are looking at a possible trade of moving down once again for San Francisco.
Wow.
So I don't know which team is trying to. We know the Falcons have been wanting to. Denver's been in the market for a receiver. The Falcons could maybe go with K'Lavon Chaisson. The Cowboys could try to jump the Falcons for Chaisson. So a lot going on right now around San Francisco. Maybe something crazy happens, Thomas. Maybe the Eagles want to get aggressive.
You mentioned Philadelphia right there. 21 overall. We know Philadelphia is desperate for a wide receiver, and the word is they love CeeDee Lamb. So if San Francisco, again, is not sold on CeeDee Lamb, they pick up the phone and say, hey, Philly, you guys want him, come up and get him. Give us your second-round draft pick. Give us number 21 overall, and we'll make the deal happen. The fact that we're 24 seconds away from the pick needing to be in for San Francisco tells me you're right. They're probably trying to trade this one.
So the clock is winding down here for San Francisco. They'd have a limited amount of time. Now, the NFL had said that they were open to allowing extra time if they were trying to get a trade finalized, but it appears that pick is in, Thomas. So you think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb?
I think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb. I'll be shocked if it's not. If it is not CeeDee Lamb, it's probably Javon Kinlaw. This is going to be interesting. They waited a long time for this pick. They're really trying to make sure it's the right one, I guess.
Which makes me wonder if it's not actually a receiver because they were trying to trade down because they thought they could still get somebody later on in this draft. But the pick is in here for San Francisco. We'll get it in just 1 second.
The only other position that this could be is a cornerback. I just don't see another cornerback going this high for San Francisco. I feel like they could wait to get another cornerback.
All right, the pick is in for San Francisco. This pick brought to you by Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. We'll tell you more about them in a second. But the pick is in, Thomas. Javon Kinlaw goes number 14 to San Francisco. What do you make of this one?
Wow. All right. Well, there it is. So all of my hype about CeeDee Lamb is basically for naught as San Francisco decides to fill DeForest Buckner's hole with Javon Kinlaw, who many people consider to be the best defensive tackle in this draft. Some people said Derek Brown. Some people say Javon Kinlaw. Listen, here's the deal. They still need a wide receiver, and now at number 31 overall, those later first-round guys come into play. We do like Javon Kinlaw. I know I was hyping up CeeDee Lamb. I'm a big CeeDee Lamb fan. I didn't think we needed a defensive tackle. The Niners did not need a defensive tackle at number 14, but defense does win championships, and that pass rush just got a lot better. The best comparison I heard to an NFL player for Javon Kinlaw is Fletcher Cox of the Eagles, but this guy's better is what I heard, Tom.
Yeah, I like Kinlaw quite a bit. He's got all of the traits that you want. He's a really good athlete, fantastic size, almost 35-inch arms for a defensive lineman is very incredible. The pressure weight was great as well at South Carolina, over 11%, great numbers for an interior defensive lineman. I'll throw my comp at you, Thomas. How about Chris Jones type upside?
Yeah, no, I like that comparison as well. And again, I want to go back to me harping about getting CeeDee Lamb. The reason why I wanted a receiver over a guy like Kinlaw, as great as he is, and you mentioned the greatness of Javon Kinlaw, is you look at the Niner defensive line, it already is good. I mean, they re-signed Eric Armstead. They still have D Ford, and they still have Nick Bosa. That's a really good pass rush. Now, there were questions about who would fill in a defensive tackle. Can Solomon Thomas, the long-forgotten number 3 overall pick, finally be a starter? Who knows? But I guess they basically just told me we didn't like any of our backup D tackles going into 2020. We're going to get a starter right here and a starter for the next 10 years.
A great story as well, by the way, for Javon Kinlaw. I'm sure United fans will hear plenty about this. He and his family were actually homeless for a stretch when he was growing up, and he didn't really realize that was not normal for a child growing up. He has a young daughter right now as well. There were some medical issues allegedly around Kinlaw, a hip and a knee. I heard mostly okay things about that. In the end, they get Kinlaw. I know a lot of guys wanted receiver, but I am okay with this pick for San Francisco. And we mentioned earlier, the pick was brought to you by Manscaped. Hey, take care of your balls, guys. I know everyone's on quarantine right now, but your balls will thank you, and more importantly, your significant other will thank you as well. Get the Lawnmower 3.0. I've used it. I can confirm that my wife loves it. She doesn't want a giant bush right there. No. Keep care of your body even though you're on quarantine right now. Get 20% off at manscaped.com if you use promo code CHAT. That is 20% off. Get the Lawnmower 3.0. It makes you look bigger just like Javon Kinlaw. It really does. By the way, we got a giveaway alert for you too. Type ball skills. Get it? Balls. Get it? Get it? If you want to be entered to win this, all right, DM the Instagram Chat Sports, at Chat Sports right now to be entered. DM ball skills. All you got to do. Put in the comments. DM us as well. You can be entered to win our Manscaped giveaway. It is 20% off if you use promo code CHAT. Mott, do you use this, or do we need to get you set up here fully?
Hey, listen, I have one as well, and I don't have a significant other right now, but if I did, I'm sure it would be a fan favorite.
It's
but
prep
again,
work.
DM. Say it again.
It's prep work.
There you go, prep work. Yeah, right. Just like we were prepping for the draft, as I know you were doing for many months to get ready for this entire first round. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so thank you, Manscaped, for coming along. Really do appreciate that. The 49ers take Javon Kinlaw in round 1 for trading down. So, Mott, I want to hear your final thoughts on this pick, and we'll see you later on tonight as well.
Well, listen, you're going to see me later on because the 49ers do have number 31 overall. So let's go ahead and flip the draft as I had talked about on the 49ers report earlier this week. I thought wide receiver first and then probably a defensive player at number 31 overall. That's changed now. So Kinlaw goes. I like the pick. I don't know if I love the pick, but that does mean that number 31 is most likely going to be a wide receiver. Will Denzel Mims from Baylor, will he be reunited with his teammate Jalen Hurd in San Francisco? Laviska Shenault, Jalen Reagor, could you see maybe a fall on Jerry Jeudy? The Niners come back up to grab him. Who knows? Denver's pick right now is going to really determine the wide receiver run. Stay tuned because I'm going to be back for number 21 with Philadelphia and obviously 31 with the 49ers. I think 31 is going to be a wide receiver.
All right, thank you, Mott. We appreciate that. All right, I welcome back now in Harrison Graham. He's back after the Niners made some chaos. The Denver Broncos are up, Harrison.
I jinxed it. As soon as I said the draft it kind of hit a lull. We get a trade. The Niners tried to trade, again, Kinlaw. They took the best player available in a lot of people's eyes, so you can't fault them for that. I thought receiver would be the option there. Receiver could be the option for the Denver Broncos here, Tom, at pick number 15.
I think that's a good move here by Denver to go with receiver. That's the obvious pick. You have your pick between CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. Either of those guys, I think, work out pretty darn well for Denver.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're in a good spot if you're Denver. Get Drew Lock another weapon. You've got Cortland Sutton. Put another receiver on the other side and continue to grow this offense from the ground up. I like what I saw from Drew Lock down the stretch last year. 4-1 as the Broncos starter. Get him another weapon on this Broncos offense, and I think they could be heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious pick here for Denver. I think I mocked them Jeudy. I don't remember what my final mock draft pick was, but I'm pretty sure I had Jeudy fallen amid the whispers of knee injuries.
Yeah, a lot of mocks have had Jeudy to 15 the last couple of weeks to Denver. It makes sense. It's good value. It's a position of need for the Broncos. I like it a lot for the Denver Broncos if that is the pick here at number 15.
So we'll see what Denver ends up doing here in just a little bit. Their pick is in, Harrison.
With the number 15 pick in the NFL draft, the Denver Broncos, Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver out of Alabama. Tom, a lot of people had Jeudy as their number 1 receiver. He actually ends up going behind his teammate, Henry Ruggs, to the Denver Broncos.
I love this pick for Denver. Now, I think they wanted Henry Ruggs, but going with Jerry Jeudy is a good idea for Denver. I'm a huge fan of what Jeudy brings to an NFL team. I think he's got some of the highest floor available this year. You are able to get an instant impact receiver because he is a fantastic route runner. That is his best attribute. He's able to make guys miss after the catch. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he's not lacking in either of those areas. He was kind of a 60-40 slot guy, but he brings you inside, outside. His little juking, the dead leg in particular, ooh, it's special.
You've done more film work than I have, obviously, but to me, he's Calvin Ridley with more upside. A slightly better route runner. Obviously, they both came from Alabama. Neither of them are burners, but they're route running technicians. They're really solid. I think their floor is extremely low, in my opinion. Like, I think at worst, Jeudy turns out to be a 10-year pro as a number 2 receiver. Right?
I agree, and I think in terms of different comps, in terms of athletic profile and the route running in particular, 2 names. Odell Beckham peak, Adam Thielen.
Ooh, okay. Thielen's got some good footwork going there.
He does. So I think in terms of athletic profile, that's kind of what you're looking at there. Denver wanted a receiver. They got one at number 15 overall. They didn't have to trade up for one. I know there were whispers of them doing that for Jeudy.
Yep.
They got him at 15. It's a really good pick by the Denver Broncos. This is an A for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look, a lot of the lead draft experts, including yourself, have said Judy's the best route runner they've seen in quite some time. Again, not top-end speed. He's not 6'3", 220 or anything like that, but the guy just can run every route on the route tree. And Drew Lock in this Broncos offense needs guys that can get open. Jerry Jeudy can get open. So I like this pick. You don't have to move up for him. This draft fell really well for Denver, I think. For them to stay put and to get maybe the best receiver in the draft is really good for Denver.
Yeah, so Jeudy goes number 15 to the Denver Broncos. I give it an A, Harrison. That's
absolutely. I'm giving it an A as well. We've talked about Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy. They're both off the board. Which Bama receiver do you think is better? Type JJ for Jeudy, type HR for Henry Ruggs. Which do you think it fell into a better situation? Maybe that's the question here, Tom. Do you like Ruggs to the Raiders, or do you like Jeudy?
I kind of like Judy's fit more.
I do too.
Because I think Sutton's a better player than Tyrell Williams, and I think Jeudy will be able to line up inside and out. I think they're both pretty decent fits.
Yeah.
I just really like Jeudy in that potential Broncos offense. I don't dislike Ruggs, but Carr has not been a downfield vertical passer
especially the past couple of years. And I look at Jeudy too. I think he steps in right away and is productive. Maybe Ruggs is, maybe he isn't. It may take him a year to continue to develop, whereas I feel like Jeudy, while he's not a finished product, he's NFL ready. I don't think there's any doubt about that, so I like that fit for Jerry Jeudy to the Denver Broncos with the number 15 pick overall in the 2020 NFL Draft. So do us a favor and like this video. What are we at, Tom? I think we're at like 6,000 likes last time I checked, but help us out. Let's get to 10,000 likes. We got well over 40,000 people watching live on YouTube, so give us a big thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. So go ahead and like the video and help us out here on Chat Sports.
Really do appreciate that, guys. As the Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock at number 16 overall. They were trying to trade up. They couldn't make it happen, Harrison. I think this is defense, unless they want to get wild and go with CeeDee Lamb and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
After all the chatter of Atlanta might even try to trade up to number 2 to get Chase Young, nothing's really happened here. So here they are at the number 16 pick. We got the Cowboys coming up at number 17. I know you're fired up about that. Maybe could they trade down now? Because the thing about Atlanta is they don't have a lot of picks.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe that's what they're trying to do here. They still got some time left on the clock. I wonder if K'Lavon Chaisson makes some sense for them. I know the Cowboys are eyeing him at 17. We'll talk about Dallas here in a little bit. I think the dark horse here is AJ Terrell.
I find that so fascinating that in the last 5 days, all of a sudden, Terrell's a top 20 prospect. Like, he wasn't the entire last 4 months when we watched him during the season and, through the combine and all that stuff. I like Terrell, but 16, top half of the draft, that's a little rich for me. I don't even think he's the best corner left. Personally, I would go Gladney. I would go Fulton over Terrell if you're going to go cornerback here. So I am surprised that has happened here, that A.J. Terrell is rising. I'll be curious to see what Atlanta does here. I know they've been viewed as an aggressive team in the draft. I think trading down might be the play here.
Yeah, I don't love the options. Edge isn't that big of a need because you have Takk McKinley, you have Dante Fowler, you just paid him. You could go with Chaisson, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that they might surprise and go Terrell here, quite frankly.
Be interesting to see what the Atlanta Falcons do. They are on the clock with the number 16 overall pick. Your biggest needs there, Tom, cornerback. Obviously, you lose Trufant. It was already a need before that. Linebacker, defensive line. I think Kinlaw was a player they were interested in. He's off the board, obviously, to San Francisco at 14. So a couple of different directions the Falcons could go, but I don't think this fell the way they were hoping it would in the end, Tom. The pick is in. The Atlanta Falcons select A.J. Terrell with the number 16 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. I'll say it right off the bat, Tom, and then you can take over. Don't love the pick. I think it's too rich. I don't think he's a top 16 player.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one. This is the first pick I really don't like. Yep. I don't think he's a top 5 corner this year. I know that the Falcons were desperate for a corner. I'm not a huge fan of this pick, Harrison. The national championship game was not good for A.J. Terrell. But he's a height-speed prospect. The completion percentage, it's a little bit higher than what you want out of a number 1 corner in college. But he's 6'1" and some change, 31 3/4 inch arms, 195, and he ran a 4.42.
Yep.
That's a great athlete. That's the guy you bet on. But I see why Atlanta wanted to move up. Terrell, the pick here as the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not a huge fan of it, Harrison.
To me, you're taking the 25th to 30th best player at number 16, and you never want to reach. That's my problem, especially when you look at Atlanta, and maybe they tried to trade down and they couldn't get a good package, so they took the player they wanted to take. And that happens sometimes in the NFL draft. But I look at Atlanta, they have a first, second, and third, but then they have a bunch of late picks. Like they have 6 picks in total. They could have used more draft capital, move back. If Terrell goes, so what? Take Gladney, take another piece. But they settle on the Clemson cornerback at number 16 overall. He goes to Atlanta, A.J. Terrell.
Do you want to know my honest grade here, Harrison?
I think it's a D.
Yeah, I took the words out of my mouth. I'm not a fan.
Grade the pick. I won't give it an F because it fills a need, and he has upside like you talked about with the athletic traits, but it's a D. You took the 25th to 35th best player in the top half of the first round.
Here's my concern. Athletically, there's some Aqib Talib in him.
Yeah.
I worried you just took Eli Apple. That's my concern. And now if it hits, obviously it works out, but I got some concerns here for the Falcons. They did not get the guy that they wanted. That's a big concern.
So continue to grade the pick, A, B, C, D, or F. A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, going to the Atlanta Falcons at pick number 16. Want to remind you guys about the Super Chat menu. Why don't you explain this, Tom, as the Cowboys are on the clock?
Speaking of the Cowboys, we are live right now on the Cowboys Report. Look, the Super Chat, $100, you'll announce a pick. I believe we're going to have a guy announce our pick for the Cowboys. Who? Mike Sullivan? Mike Sullivan will be on here in a little bit to make the pick. The Cowboys can pick CeeDee Lamb, Harrison. Do it, you cowards.
Take CeeDee Lamb. Look, C.J. Henderson's gone. Kinlaw is gone.
Take Lamb.
It's Lamb or Chaisson, right?
You're right. Don't let the Eagles get him.
Also,
take CeeDee Lamb.
You can't be upset.
You cowards.
If you go Chaisson, you can't be upset.
It's fine. It's CeeDee Lamb. You've got a top 10 player on the board. My last true round 1 grade. You take CeeDee Lamb, you cowards.
Become the best receiving core in the NFL.
Yes, that's what you do.
Teams
screw defense, score all the points.
Teams don't think about this often enough. Build on a strength. Make a strength dominant. Teams don't think about that enough. They're like, oh, what hole do we fill? Why not take CeeDee Lamb, get the best player on the board?
You pass on CeeDee Lamb, you're passing on Randy Moss all over again.
Wow.
He's not as good as Randy Moss, but that's what you're doing here. Because the Eagles are going to get him.
Man, you got to
take him.
Can't
let it happen.
Just take him.
Take CeeDee Lamb. Do it, you cowards. Absolutely do it. That is what you simply have to do right now. So Harrison's going to disappear here in just a second. We do want to welcome in Mike Sullivan as well. He will be announcing the Cowboys pick on the NFL draft. And by the way, we are, of course, simulcasting right now, live on our Cowboys Report channel and on our main YouTube channel. Mike, welcome into the show, and thank you for the super chat.
No problem.
All right, so Mike, I'll let you answer this one. Who do you want Dallas to pick here?
I think Dallas needs some defense.
Okay, you want defense? If you want defense.
I'm personally a Giants fan. But my coach.
What a plot twist here. Do we have a spy? Were you the one who super chatted, Mike?
I DM'd the Instagram.
Did we get the wrong guy up here? All right, I'm gonna let the have fun with it, Mike. It's fine. You can have fun with the Cowboys pick.
All right, yeah. So my coach is a diehard Dallas fan, and he's watching the stream now.
Okay. Interesting plot twist here today. Still waiting on that Cowboys pick. So, Mike, I think we'll check back in with you here in a little bit. I wonder if James got behind the scenes here, but Cowboys are on the clock. They have CeeDee Lamb. They have K'Lavon Chaisson available. Mike, who would you pick? One name here.
I think CeeDee Lamb. I think he's still up there. I think they should take him.
Okay. Well, Mike, we will check in with you here in a little bit as well. But we're waiting for that Cowboys pick to come in. We also got Harrison Graham here. I will rant here to my Cowboys Report watchers. I desperately want CeeDee Lamb right now. I like K'Lavon Chaisson. As I look at my board right now, he's actually the second highest guy available. But don't draft for need. Draft for player. Take the top 10 guy, the top 8 guy available, and build the best wide receiver core out there. It is still a need. Worry about defense later. Get me that dynamic receiver option. Build the best wide receiver core in the NFL. This is the route I would go if I were the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a must move here for Dallas. Say what, Producer Brett? Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. And now Harrison Graham, what are you doing here?
Here during our NFL draft coverage, we got
I'm still not sure what happened. By the way,
we've been hearing about Zoom hacks for months now, and all of a sudden it's hit us here at Chat Sports on draft night. Kudos to Mike for pulling that off. James behind the scenes haven't seen that prankster show in quite some time, but it's hit us here today. I'm with you. Just take CeeDee Lamb. Worry about defense later. Trade up and take a corner later. Maybe Jeff Gladney falls around too. Who knows?
I didn't think Lamb was going to be there at this point. I really didn't.
I'm surprised that
I
he's
am
there.
Too. I am taking him.
I'm surprised the Raiders went Ruggs instead of Lamb.
Look, here's the biggest reason why you do this. You know who the Eagles want badly? CeeDee Lamb. Because he's the best player left. You take him, Dallas. Don't break my heart, okay? Just take Lamb.
Is there anyone else? Because we're saying Chaisson or Lamb. Is there anybody else in the mix in your eyes? With Terrell gone, I don't think so.
I heard buzz about Diggs, and I heard buzz about McKinney, but I thought if Chaisson was there, he was the pick. I also didn't think Lamb was going to be on the board. Yeah. I think at this point, I know that edge and corner are bigger needs. take CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Take CeeDee Lamb. Just do it.
He's by far your best player on the board, Tom. K'Lavon Chaisson, your second best. Christian Fulton, quarterback out of LSU. And then Grant Delpit, the safety out of LSU.
They are dragging this out. There is some real debate right now.
This is peak
in
Cowboys.
that Cowboys room.
This is peak Cowboys.
Take CeeDee Lamb and give him 88. Do it. Do it, you cowards.
The pick is in. We are waiting for official word, but apparently they have made the pick. We will get that to you guys as soon as we have it here for you guys.
Please do it.
Apparently, I'm reading on Twitter, Tom, Jerry Jones is grinning ear to ear, so he is fired up about this pick. We will find out who it is in just a few moments. Jerry Jones is fired up about this pick. We're going to get it on screen here in just a second as the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Pick number 17. Tom Downey, who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I know who it is. I'm just standing by because I want to get it official.
With the number 17 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. Tom, you are doing jumping jacks over there.
Let's go, baby! CeeDee Lamb to the Cowboys, best receiving core in the NFL. They made the right pick. They did it, Harrison.
Hey,
they're not cowards.
Hey, win every game 41-38. The Chiefs did it a couple of years
Let's go.
ago. Hey, it would have worked for the Chiefs 2 years ago if Chris Jones did not, or if D4 didn't line up offsides. Maybe it can work for the Cowboys.
Suck it, Philly. I'm kidding. Most of there. Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb. All right, calm down. This was the best player on the board by a significant margin for me. CeeDee Lamb is my number 7 overall player. I've never been more glad to get a mock draft pick wrong than what I am right now. This receiving core right now is CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper in no particular order, and Michael Gallup, baby. That is show me a better trio in the NFL right now. I can't. CeeDee Lamb, he's not a great athlete, not a burner, a 4.5 40. All right. A fantastic player overall. Hopkins is my comp for him. He slots in immediately as your number 3 receiver. You can let Cooper and Gallup and Lamb all rotate in the slot if you want. Fantastic hands. A 4.5% drop rate. That is a fantastic catch radius for CeeDee Lamb. He's got some great size as well. 26 broken tackles this past year. The second most in the nation at wide receiver. He just turned 21. 24 catches of 40-plus yards. Now, he's got to get better against the press. He's a little pushy. He benefited from the Oklahoma offense. This is a top 10 player that you just got in round 1. This is a fantastic move here by the Dallas Cowboys. He's got great ball skills in contested catches as well. Speaking of balls, by the way, this pick brought to you by Manscaped. Get the Lawnmower 3.0, 20% off with promo code CHAT. The Cowboys got the best pick possible. You can get the best men's grooming tool, and your wives and girlfriends and significant others will thank you. My wife can confirm on that one as well. Type me, by the way, if you want a perfect package in the comments. So spam me in there for me if you guys want the perfect package from Manscaped. Your balls will very much thank you. So, and to enter to win, by the way, go follow Manscaped on Instagram. They will pick the winner. It's at Manscaped, on Instagram for the giveaway for Manscaped. It's a great package, just like the Cowboys wide receiver core, consisting of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup Harrison.
Absolutely. And look, the thing about Manscaped, Tom, you know what it'll do? It'll eliminate razor burn forever. And I've heard it'll turn a Tootsie Roll into a Tootsie Pole, if you guys know what I mean. So make sure you get Manscaped right now, manscaped.com, and use that promo code CHAT. I bet CeeDee Lamb has Manscaped, Tom.
I think he does because he is an awesome pick, just like the Manscaped package is. We have Josh, by the way. Josh Monagold on. Josh, I'm sorry that someone kind of, cucked you there and took your spot. What do you think of the pick here by CeeDee Lamb? We got again. We got again. He's an Eagles fan. All right, Josh. Well, thanks for the super chat. We got again. You know what? I respect the hell out of that move, my friend. Well done. Who do you want the Eagles to pick then? He says he wants Justin Jefferson. I am inclined to agree. So, Josh, thank you for the super chat. We're sorry you kind of got cucked there. Give us your one-word reaction, everybody else, to the CeeDee Lamb pick. You can kind of sort of see Josh on that one. Harrison, this is great. This is awesome. I'm fired up beyond belief.
Look, I mean, you can't ever predict how the NFL draft is going to go. Chaisson was a player they were interested in, but the Cowboys don't always do this, but they actually took the best player on the board. They didn't Tristan Hill it this year, Tom. They took CeeDee Lamb. He was the highest-ranked player. Jerry Jones is happy, and I know you're happy as well.
All right, so that is it for the Dallas Cowboys in round one. They get CeeDee Lamb, and I am on cloud 9 right now. They got the best player. I'm fired up. All right, as a reminder, we are live right now both on our main YouTube channel and our Cowboys Report YouTube channel. The Cowboys fans will continue to simulcast throughout the night. If you are a Cowboys fan, for we got twice tonight by a Giants and Eagles fan, crazy, subscribe now. YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Harrison, I gotta calm down there because I'm too amped.
Hey,
right
we
now.
still got like half the first round left, so take a deep breath over there. But go get subscribed to the #1 Cowboys channel on YouTube, YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. If you're watching live on that channel, just hit that big red subscribe button. We'll stay simulcasting here on Chat Sports, so we're going to stay live on our Cowboys channel as well as we continue our draft coverage. So appreciate you Cowboys fans watching, and again, get subscribed to the Cowboys Report. So the Miami Dolphins, Tom, they're on the clock. I'll let you calm down there for a second. And once you catch your breath, where do you think they go here maybe?
They got to get some more offensive line help. I don't think they'd go K'Lavon Chaisson here, but they got to build around Tua now.
So who would that be?
They might have taken Lamb, by the way, had he fallen.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. You pair him with Tua.
You know, Josh Jones is there. Ezra Cleveland is there. I am out of true round 1 grades. I'm down to around 1.5 or straight 2 picks here. So I think this is where you're going to see some real stunners for the rest of this first round because teams' boards are going to look very, very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you get to the second half of the first round here. That's what most teams have, Tom. They have, 15 to 18 players in any given year that have true round 1 grades. You had, 17? So now you're getting into that kind of 1.5 round grades as you get to the back half of round 1. The Dolphins, 3 first-round picks. Took Tua at number 5 overall. They got pick number 18 here. They also have pick number 26, so expected to be one of the busiest teams here on the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah. So my top players on the board here, a lot of LSU. Fun fact, 4 LSU guys left, Harrison. Chaisson, Fulton, Delpit, and Jefferson are all on the board. I am very curious to see which route that they end up taking here.
They were the national champs for a reason. That's why they've got a bunch of good NFL draft prospects. Chaisson, like you said, not necessarily a need for the Dolphins, but he is your highest-ranked player. Christian Fulton, would they go cornerback here? I don't know if that's the route they would want to go. I think they would have loved CeeDee Lamb, but the Dallas Cowboys just took him at number 17, so I'd be curious to see.
I could see him trying to trade down here.
Yeah, I could too.
That would make sense to me to try and move down and acquire extra draft capital to continue to build around because I think, again, you are at the point right now where you've got a big difference in grades between your top guys. The round 1 grades are gone for me. Now you're down to round 2, round 3 grades.
With the number 18 pick in the NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins select Austin Jackson, maybe the biggest stunner of the night, offensive tackle out of USC, Tom.
Don't love this one necessarily. I know that NFL teams like Jackson, he was actually my number 8 offensive tackle. I had him just inside my top 60 prospects. Got the size you want, 6'4", 322, is a good athlete. He is a project through and through. Now, he's only 20. He hasn't turned 21 yet, so the upside is certainly there. Former 5-star recruit. Took him a while to really get remotely passable at USC, but he was so young. He does move very well. He's a good athlete, but he doesn't have great power despite his size. That's going to be an issue early on. As of right now, I think he's better in pass protection than he is in the run game. He allowed 4 sacks this past year. That's a lot for a first-round pick at tackle.
Grade the pick, A, B, C, D, or F, Austin Jackson to the Miami Dolphins. Here's my quick 2 cents on this, Tom. This reeks of we got to fill a need, so let's take an offensive tackle, even though there really wasn't a tackle necessarily worth taking left on the board in the top 20. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, look, we're going to get some weird picks going forward here. I'm just not a huge fan. I didn't love the tape from Austin Jackson. I know some Bengals fans are happy that he's not going to be a pick for them in round 1 now. I got to scroll a pretty significant ways down here to get him off my board as I update it live here. But that was I love the Tua pick, but I'm not that high on Jackson, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest with you. But the upside is there to be a little bit better of a potential franchise left tackle.
So the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, pick number 19. They took Henry Ruggs, Tom, with pick number 12, second first-round pick here at number 19.
Yeah, I look, we'll see what the Raiders end up doing. They were so close to getting Henderson, too. Or not Henderson, but to getting Lamb, too.
Oh,
How
man.
crazy would that have been?
Do you think they would have done that? Would they have doubled down?
They should have. They absolutely should have.
That would have been entertaining.
But, hey, just as a reminder, because we still got, let me double-check the numbers, 38K watching right now despite round 1 being halfway over. And we're going to be back again tomorrow. So if you want the fun, if you want the shot roulette, if you want all of that, we got you guys covered. We're going to have the picks, Harrison, before the TV networks and analysis of every single pick.
Yeah, we've done it so far tonight. We expect to continue that through all 7 rounds of the NFL Draft. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe to us here at Chat Sports and turn on notifications so you know when we go live, not only during the NFL Draft. It's not like this is a one-time thing. We go live all the time here on Chat Sports. So subscribe to the channel. We got daily NFL videos going out almost every single day. We got NBA coverage coming up. That'll kick into gear, with free agency and all of that stuff, NBA draft. But we're focused on the NFL right now. Turn on notifications. Hit that red subscribe button. We have videos going out on the channel every single day.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what ends up happening here for the Raiders. They are now on the clock. Got to think defense here, right, Harrison?
You would think so. Do they go Chaisson?
I could
Edge
see that being
a major
the case.
need because you got Crosby, you got Cleveland Ferrell. To me, if you take Chaisson, you're not sold on Ferrell. Like you don't like what you saw
and
last
look,
year.
I don't
this
know
pick
if,
will tell a lot. I think.
I don't know if Raiders fans could handle going with another raw, kind of undersized, but really athletic and promising edge out of LSU. After Arden Key, I don't know if they'd be able to do it.
Yeah, he was not the key to their defense. I will say that right now.
I'm thinking back 7 here. Look, Chaisson, maybe. I don't think that's the pick here. Christian Fulton, I would love that one. I wouldn't mind Grant Delpit.
How about Jeff Gladney? Because their nickel play has been horrendous the past couple of years.
I think
Joyner was not
I think
good.
they still need an outside guy, too.
Yeah.
But Gladney could play outside.
He played outside mostly
outside.
at TCU. He's got more of nickelback size, but he plays bigger than his size.
I got a straight 2, but I got 26th overall on Gladney, so I wouldn't mind that one.
This could be a trade down. Remember, the Raiders don't have a second-round pick. Maybe Mike Mayock and John Gruden look to trade down here, pick up an extra selection. That could be an option for the Raiders as well.
Yeah, I think they would love to trade down because Mayock and Gruden want to have some day 2 picks.
Yeah.
That's what they want. We'll see if they end up getting it. I think that's their game plan here.
Yeah, so your top best players available, all LSU guys, K'Lavon Chaisson, Christian Fulton, Grant Delpit, and Justin Jefferson. I don't think they would go another receiver here. If it was Lamb, I think they would have been tempted.
Henry Ruggs is going to be your vertical outside threat, right? Tyrell Williams is a big body possession guy.
Jefferson in the slot?
In the slot. I don't think that's the route that they go, but I'd be intrigued by it.
It would kind of be doing what the Cowboys are doing, right? Like you're kind of ignoring something else, but YOLO, let's just make our receiving core really good and take Justin Jefferson. So we will see what the Raiders do as they are on the clock.
The rest of these cornerbacks, I had Terrell going actually here to the Raiders at 19. That, of course, is not how they ended up going, but I'm really intrigued by that. So I am super curious to see where the Raiders go at number 19 overall here. But the cornerback grouping is going to be fascinating in terms of where they end up going. So I don't know which path they choose to take in terms of corners, but I think defensive back makes a lot of sense here for this team.
Yeah, lots of different directions the Raiders could go after taking Henry Ruggs with the number 12 overall pick. The Raiders are on the clock again here at number 19. With the 19th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Damon Arnett, the cornerback out of Ohio State. Now, Tom, I think you're going to react strongly to this. I had a late second-round grade personally on Arnett. He goes top 20.
They did it again. They took the knee at the wrong player.
Back-to-back picks.
It's just like Cleveland Ferrell. Oh, no. I don't get this. He was my 68th overall player. I had higher corners on the board here. I don't like 5'11", 195 guys that ran a 4.56 40
with
and
short
by the
arms.
way are older. I don't like it. Raiders fan.
Here's the
y'all gonna be mad at me, but this is the worst pick of the first round.
I don't know. Austin Jackson
worst
was
pick of the
pretty
first
bad.
round.
I'll say
It's
this.
close between those two.
In Arnett's defense, 5-year player at Ohio State, team captain.
It's already 24.
Got overlooked because he
Or turns
played next to
24.
Jeff Okudah. But, yeah, he's an older prospect. He's undersized. He did not run well at the NFL Combine. He is kind of a Gruden grinder, but I don't know if you take a Gruden grinder number 19 overall.
He took a big step forward this past year at Ohio State. There had been some whispers of round 1 grades on him, but then he showed up at the Combine, and things just didn't go well for Damon Arnett. So I got to be honest, Raiders fans, I don't like it. I think this is a number 2 corner, but I think his upside isn't as high as the other players. I would have taken Christian Fulton in a heartbeat over Damon Arnett. I'm not a huge fan here.
While the Damon Arnett pick isn't of great value, this T-shirt is. Get this Raiders Black Skull T-shirt, 20% off when you go to chatsports.com/skull. This is classic Raider Nation right here. This T-shirt.
I love that T-shirt.
I know Mitchell Renz is going to order a couple of these. He's going to be wearing that on a Raiders Report very, very soon. Chatsports.com/skull. We'll have that link in the description and in the live chat for you guys. You click on it, boom, you get it for 20% off. Check the live chat for that link on that Black Sunday shirt. We're shocked after that pick, but at least you can get a good shirt out of it.
I don't like this pick. I'm giving it a D. I don't like this. I think Damon Arnett can be a good player for you in the NFL.
His ceiling's just not high.
I think he can be a number 2 corner in the NFL, but I don't see the things that you want to be a number 1 guy. I don't see the size. I don't see the athletic ability. I don't see the ball skills. I don't see the traits. He'll play early. He's rather developed on that front, but I don't like that pick.
Yeah, so breaking news here as you guys continue to grade the pick. Vegas will host the draft in 2022. Obviously, they were supposed to host it this year in 2020 as they move from Oakland to Las Vegas. They will host it in 2022, so we'll be looking forward to that. That'll be good for that franchise. That'll be good for the NFL. We were planning on going out there this year, but obviously the Big C. But big news, Vegas will get to host here in a couple of years.
Yeah, so Damon Arnett goes to Vegas here. At 19 overall, I had better corners on the board. Look, if you had traded down and got him in round 2, where I think he might have been, we're having a different discussion. Top 20 pick on a barely top 10 corner, although there's a drop-off after him. I don't like it.
What's interesting, Tom, is we heard a lot of chatter over the last 7 to 10 days that mock drafts have been wrong more this year than ever because you can't, no pro days and whatsoever. The first 10 picks or so were like pretty chalky so far. Last 4 or 5, it's certainly been wild. So Damon Arnett, the latest kind of out there pick in the 2020 NFL draft.
I know there are people that liked Arnett, and I get it because he's a very fluid guy despite his testing. I think he can be a scheme, versatile corner for you, but I think this is a reach. Before y'all yell at me, I told you the exact same thing about Cleveland Ferrell, and look how that worked last year.
So Damon Arnett is the pick to the Las Vegas Raiders at pick number 19. That brings up the Jacksonville Jaguars with the number 20 overall pick. They are on the clock. Final thoughts on Arnett, Tom? That was certainly a stunner.
Look, the Raiders will do great in round 3, but as they always do, they did it last year. But I was fine with the Ruggs pick. I don't like this Damon Arnett pick. This is bad.
All right, so we get into the 20s now. Jacksonville's on the board. What are you thinking here, Tom, when you kind of think of some of your best players available and filling some needs?
Yeah, I think defense is still an area of focus for them. I think I mocked them Trevon Diggs, but they took C.J. Henderson.
How about you get
that off.
Chaisson and trade Yannick Ngakoue? There you go. I figured it out, Jacksonville.
Fix the Jags.
Hey, that kind of it's worked out nicely for them. Henderson at 9, bit of a reach in my opinion, but look, you needed a corner, you need an edge because you're going to trade Ngakoue. You already traded Campbell. Just take Chaisson. He's the best player available, and then maybe you trade Ngakoue later in the draft.
I could see something surprising like a safety here. But, I mean, I think best player on the board is Chaisson. I'd go that route.
With the number 20 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars take K'Lavon Chaisson, the edge out of LSU. So C.J. Henderson earlier, Tom, Chaisson here at pick number 20. Pretty good draft for the Jaguars so far, in my opinion.
So it's funny because I forgot I wrote this down in my notes. You know what my comp for Chaisson is?
Ngakoue?
Yannick Ngakoue. Forgot I wrote that down in my notes.
You got your replacement.
I know that the production does not jump out to you. I know that that's the case. But he dropped into coverage a lot. And he's not even 21 years old yet. He's able to cover. He's made splash plays against the run as well. He didn't return until after the draft. He's well regarded at LSU because he got to wear number 18. That is a number reserved for the high character, the leader type of guys.
Yep.
He's got all the traits that you want. He's got some nice length. He's not undersized despite being 254 as an edge. That's fine. He can bend as well. That's critical. The issues are here, he's only got one real show of production, missed all of 2018 with a torn ACL, which I thought was going to be his breakout year. He was on my radar entering that. He's only played like 5 years of football. He hasn't played a lot of it. He wasn't a really guy who played a lot in high school growing up there. So there is risk involved here. At 20 for Jacksonville, who needs an edge long term, that's a good pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like that one quite a bit. My best player left. Good job.
I love what the Jags has done so far. I give it an A, so grade the pick for us, A, B, C, D, or F. Philadelphia is on the clock, but the Jaguars get K'Lavon Chaisson at pick number 20.
All right, guys, we've seen some of you say that you want Thomas Mott back. So if you guys do, I want you to type M. So type M right now. We'll kick Harrison off for a little bit.
Oh, I'll get out of the way,
and we'll
gladly.
bring Thomas Mott on for the Eagles pick here. He is, of course, our host of the Philadelphia Report. So we'll let the M's come in here as I get a drink because I want a sip of water, or I guess Mountain Dew.
Yeah, so continue to type M in the comments if you want Mott to pop on for the Philadelphia Eagles pick at pick number 21.
All right, so type M if you guys want Mott. Do we have enough votes in? Do we? Let's do the show. The host of our brand new Philadelphia Eagles now at Chat Sports. So, Thomas, Philadelphia's on the clock. I stole CeeDee Lamb from you. You're welcome. What are you thinking for Philly?
Well, listen, I really don't want to be here right now talking to you, Tom, because I know you're a Cowboys fan. I know you're thrilled to get CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
Let me just say this. The Eagles are furious right now. They did not get CeeDee Lamb. Perfectly, the fact that Philadelphia did not trade up ahead of Dallas to go ahead and get him blows my mind. But here we go. Philadelphia 21. They're most likely going to stay here and take this pick, and the question's going to be linebacker or wide receiver. Now, your wide receivers, there's still a lot available, but the presumptive pick here is Justin Jefferson. But let me say this. A lot of Eagle fans don't want to hear this. Kenneth Murray, the linebacker of Oklahoma, presumed to be a top 15 pick. He's there. Don't be shocked that this is Kenneth Murray, the linebacker.
How would you feel about Murray being the pick in Philadelphia?
Listen, I've been saying all along on Philadelphia Eagles now that I think Murray would be an excellent choice at number 21 overall.
Okay.
I'm one of the few people covering the Eagles who are saying that linebacker is in need, and it blows my mind. Philadelphia doesn't have a good linebacker on their squad. I mean, Nathan Gary is their best linebacker right now, and he's basically a special teams expert. You can get receivers later on in the draft. Now, if this is Justin Jefferson, I love it because I think Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver available. But if you're an Eagles fan, think about this. Who's playing middle linebacker in Philadelphia next year? We have no idea. They went ahead and signed Brown in the offseason to a one-year deal. He's not going to cut it. Eagle fans are locked into wide receiver. Lamb, I love it, but he's gone. Maybe the weakest point of the Eagles right now, I think it's linebacker, not wide receiver. I would not be surprised if this is Kenneth Murray. It's Murray or Jefferson. I really hope Howie Roseman doesn't shock everybody and go for like a Jalen Reagor at a TCU because Philly fans would not have it.
How would you feel about corner or safety? I know you kind of addressed those needs pretty significantly. What do you think of those options, though?
Mock drafts having cornerback to Philadelphia make no sense. I think anyone who mocked a corner to 21 overall, I know Trayvon Diggs is still there. Philly doesn't need a cornerback. They signed Darius Slay, and they're going to throw either Sidney Jones, Avonte Maddox, or Rasul Douglas at whoever doesn't start from that will play in the slot. I think Philadelphia's fine at cornerback. They moved Jalen Mills from cornerback to safety. I think that's going to work out as well. Again, think about Philadelphia. The D-line, they could use a pass rusher, but they get Malik Jackson back. They'll be fine there. They're good on the offensive line. They're obviously good at quarterback. They need a running back. They need a linebacker. They need a wide receiver. Obviously, you don't want a running back right now. It's either wide receiver or linebacker. And I would honestly probably take Kenneth Murray over Kristen Fulton, which I see you have right there as the number one corner still available.
Yeah, I got Fulton as my CB1. I've got Kenneth Murray as my linebacker one because I counted Isaiah Simmons as an athlete. I think I would go with Justin Jefferson. I think he's a better player than Murray, but I think you bring up a great point, Mont, that you can wait on receiver, which clearly is what teams like the Niners and Jets have already done.
Okay, listen, let me just throw this at you. If Philadelphia does not like Kenneth Murray, then I think what you just said could be a potential. Like, it all depends on how high you are on Justin Jefferson. If you're not high on Justin Jefferson or Kenneth Murray, Philly could trade back right here into the early parts of the second round, maybe 34 with Indianapolis, maybe 37 with the Chargers, and get a Denzel Mims out of Baylor there at number in the second round at number 37. So if they love Jefferson, then they run the pick up to the board. But they don't love Jefferson or they don't love Kenneth Murray, they're probably trading back. I actually kind of agree with you on that one.
I think that's a fair point, and I am curious to see which route Philadelphia goes. I think they've got options here. You bring up a great point about the trade mindset. I think that's tricky right now because I don't know what teams really want to move up right now. I don't know if there's a lot of teams trying to move up in the draft for what I think is a very closely clustered group of players, as we've seen with surprise picks in Austin Jackson and Damon Arnett as the last two moves.
As we sit here thinking about number 21, and we obviously keep hearing Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, Tom, who would you say is the second best receiver left on the board? I mean, apparently Philadelphia is very high on Denzel Mims. They FaceTimed him like 5 times in 1 week a couple of weeks ago, and he went and visited them in Philadelphia. Would this be Mims if it's not going to be Justin Jefferson, or could it be Reagor? Who would you say is the next best wide receiver?
I've got Mims higher, but I don't think the NFL agrees with me. So I would wonder if Reagor would actually be the next best receiver on the board behind if it's not Justin Jefferson in the end because of the athletic ability that Reagor brings to the NFL.
But I'm wide receiver, and we know that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see which route they end up going, but I would bet that receiver is the pick here, but we'll see as that pick is coming in right now. The pick is in. The Philadelphia Eagles do go receiver, but it's Jalen Reagor, the wide receiver out of TCU. So, Thomas Mott, host of our Philadelphia Eagles Now, I'll kick this over for your thoughts on Reagor going 21.
Well, listen, this is not my favorite pick for Philadelphia at number 21 overall. I had Justin Jefferson rated a lot higher than Jalen Reagor. The problem with Jalen Reagor is, do we really know exactly what he is in terms of the production? Now, he's a little bit undersized, 5'10", 206 pounds. You see it there on the screen. But he had a really bad quarterback at TCU and only caught 6 touchdown passes last year. Some people see him as the most explosive wide receiver in this draft. I just didn't see it. I don't understand how you watch the film between Justin Jefferson and Jalen Reagor, who are very comparable overall size-wise, and go, okay, one caught 111 passes and 18 touchdowns, and the other caught 43 passes for 5 touchdowns. Now, I know Joe Burrow versus whoever the heck was playing quarterback at TCU last year. I get it. I heard rumors that they were very high on Jalen Reagor, but I think Philadelphia fans are going to be very disappointed, not only losing out on CeeDee Lamb to your Dallas Cowboys, but now not getting their next favorite wide receiver, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, I get it from Philadelphia's perspective. I know the production, as you bring up, was horrible. Look, TCU had trash quarterback this past year. Let's be realistic there. I see return man ability, and although the 4.47 was a major disappointment at the Combine, he clearly bulked up too much. Like, he was heavier than what he should have been. He's a vertical threat. He brings great speed, deadly with the ball in his hand. My concern is that you drafted Marquise Goodwin. My hope here for Philadelphia, Thomas, is that they just took Brandon Cooks.
Well, if it is Brandon Cooks, obviously that's going to be a win for Philadelphia. The question now becomes, where does Jalen Reagor line up? You look at Philadelphia's current wide receiver core. Alshon Jeffrey's on that list right now, but he potentially could be cut by after the July 1st deadline. And then you're sitting there with Deshaun Jackson, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in his second year, and Greg Ward, who was a backup or a practice squad quarterback earlier on in the year. Is Reagor going to come in and be able to produce as a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2? Like, if the Eagles already had a surefire number 1 wide receiver, then you bring in Reagor as potentially a Nelson Aguilar replacement, but they need him to be more than that, and that's my fear right now for bringing in a guy at TCU like Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point there. So, question for everyone watching live right now on our main YouTube channel and on our new Philadelphia Eagles Now channel as well. Get your votes in. C for the Cowboys or E for the Eagles. Who gets more wins in 2020, Thomas?
Where's the E on my keyboard? Let me push that like 8 billion times. Although I will say, like, listen, covering the Eagles, they wanted CeeDee Lamb, and the fact that he went to Dallas, we play him twice a year, that's brutal for Philadelphia. Brutal.
I'm pretty happy about that one. So get your votes in. C for the Cowboys, E for the Eagles. We've done some crazy numbers tonight in terms of comments per minute, and we appreciate that. I'm curious what happens. Thomas, thank you for coming on. If you're watching on Philadelphia Eagles Now, we're going to go ahead and end this live stream. Head over to youtube.com/chatsportstv. We'll get the link in the comments for you guys for the rest of round 1 of the NFL Draft. And Thomas, thank you so much for stopping by tonight.
All right, guys. See you back at 30.
All right, we bring now back on Harrison Graham. Harrison, you want to give some thoughts on that Eagles pick? Because you're a TCU guy.
As a TCU alum, first of all, let's try and get 800 comments per minute. I think we can do it. We smashed this earlier, so type GO down in the comment section. We have over 30,000 live, so go ahead and type GO. Let's spam the chat while I give my thoughts on Reagor. I know Mott wasn't high on him in this draft process. Here's the thing. TCU's quarterback play, his entire career, was brutal. Trust me, I watched every single snap of Jalen Reagor's career. Pro Football Focus, actually, no other receiver had more inaccurate passes to him than Jalen Reagor. Literally number 1 in college football. So I promise you, if you put him in that LSU offense with him, he'd have been a 1,300-yard guy. Like, he's got that kind of ability. He's a burner. I'm with you. The 40-yard dash, he put on 10 pounds too many. He plays at 195. He's not a 207-pound kid, so he's dynamic. Yards after the catch is great. He may never be a number 1 type of receiver, but I like your Cooks comp. I think that you can do some jet sweep action with him. Mm-hmm. He's a burner. He can run posts, and he's not just a go-deep guy. Like, he's got some route running ability. He's going to be a good return man as well. I like that pick for the Eagles, even if it is maybe a little bit too high.
Yeah, I mean, I had a second-round grade, but a top 30 overall prospect this year on Jalen Reagor, so I don't have very many options.
They need a deep threat. Philadelphia needs a big play weapon in that offense. Deshaun Jackson ain't it. It's over for him. Jalen Reagor can bring big plays to that offense. Maybe you could have traded down and got him, but hey, if you're high on him, just take him when he's available, and that is what the Philadelphia Eagles have done with pick number 21.
Yeah, so now the Vikings are on the clock, and fun fact, Harrison, I had them taking Reagor in my mock draft, so it's not like this was a reach by any means by Philadelphia.
No, I think after you get outside the top 3 receivers, Tom, you know, you got Jefferson, you got Reagor, you got Mims. It's what you prefer, what type of player you want. If you're the Vikings here, I think Denzel Mims could make some sense. Get a big body player on the outside with good athletic traits to go opposite of Adam Thielen. I would love that pick for Minnesota. You could go Justin Jefferson here as well. Lots of different directions the Vikings could go. Could they go Jeff Gladney, cornerback out of TCU as well? I think Minnesota's in a pretty good spot here as they have 2 of the next 4 picks coming up here in the NFL draft.
So some top receivers left here for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson is there. Denzel Mims is there. Laviska Shenault is on board. He's got medical concerns.
Yep.
T. Higgins, and really in that Shenault-Higgins range, you still got KJ Hamler, Brandon Aiyuk as well, who I think could sneak into round 1. They're all top 50 guys for me.
Yeah, Ayuk's been gaining some steam over the past couple of weeks. People think he can sneak in there. I would go Mims for that offense because I just think he gives them big play ability. Obviously, Thielen can do some of that as well, but he's more of their possession receiver. I think Mims could be a good option for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, so we'll see what Minnesota chooses to do here on the clock at number 22 overall, although we have a trade here? Is that right? Or after the Vikings? Okay, so after Minnesota, we have a trade. Curious to see what ends up happening there. Would be the Patriots moving down, which I am not remotely surprised by because they're tanking for 2021. Calling it right now.
We'll see what the Patriots do. So they will not be taking Jordan Love at number 23 overall, but we're still focused on Minnesota as they are on the clock.
I think receiver corner, maybe a surprise edge pick here of AJ Epinesa could end up making some sense as well. But I think for Minnesota, maybe Fulton. I wouldn't mind that either. I think Fulton fits what they like at corner.
They need a cornerback. That defense is going to look a lot different in 2020 with Mike Zimmer leading the way, obviously, there. But I think receiver and corner stand out. You lost Stephon Diggs. You lost multiple corners on that defense. I think either way would be a good pick for the Vikings.
So who do you think they end up taking here, Harrison?
I'd like to see them take Mims. I think he'd be a good fit in that offense. He's that jump ball type of player. T. Higgins is similar in that way as well. Just throw it up to him. Give him a chance to make a play. He's a really good contested catch receiver. Justin Jefferson is another receiver available as well. I think in the end it will be receiver for the Minnesota Vikings.
So we'll see what route they end up going here at 22.
With the number 22 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings go receiver. They take Justin Jefferson out of LSU.
I like it for Minnesota. He was my top receiver on the board. I thought Philadelphia might take him, so I'm off by one with both these picks, actually, between Jefferson and Reagor. He thrived this year in the slot at LSU. Now, he has played outside receiver in the past, but in that new Joe Brady offense, he absolutely broke out. I got a couple quick comps here, so I want to know what you think. Jeremy Maclin or T.Y. Hilton? Maybe, of course,
I don't know if he has Hilton's
Maclin.
Speed. I know he ran well, but
he tested well.
Yeah, he tested well.
4.43.
That's pretty good.
202 pounds.
If you get T.Y. Hilton here, you're pretty fired up about that.
I think you need to get Maclin in terms of like peak Maclin.
Yeah, no, Maclin was great for about 5 or 6 years. Jeremy Maclin was a really good receiver in the NFL. I think those are good comps for Jefferson. I like his flexibility. He can play outside. He can play slot. I'm with you. I think he's better suited as a slot. I think that was proven last year. And if he plays slot, he's got pretty good size for a slot receiver in the modern-day NFL.
Good hands as well, a 5.8% drop rate. There were a couple focus drops on there, but he got open at LSU. Now, it was often against zone, working in the middle of the field against less talented corners, but that's what happens in college football. He's my best receiver left on the board. I like this pick for Minnesota. I'm going to give it an A-.
And unlike Reagor to Philadelphia, Jefferson doesn't have to go into Minnesota with the pressure of being the number one receiver, whereas Reagor may feel some of that pressure in Philadelphia after what we saw last year. They've got Adam Thielen, so he's not going to get double-teamed or anything right away. I like the pick. I'll give it an A- for Justin Jefferson to Minnesota. I think it's good value at this point in the draft.
Yeah, and I think it's a good move by Minnesota. I think it was a good addition, and they desperately needed receiver help, Harrison.
Yeah.
Because they had Adam Thielen and nobody.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you trade Stephon Diggs, you got to get a receiver. Like that's what you need in the NFL draft, and that's what Minnesota has done. And keep in mind, Tom, they got a pick coming up here in just a couple of selections, as Minnesota also has the number 25 overall pick. We'll see if they end up keeping that selection.
So it's a good move here by the Minnesota Vikings to get a potential number 2 receiver in round 1 of the NFL draft. We've also got a giveaway for you guys from our friends over at Panda Sups. We'll tell you about them here more in a little bit. But if you want entered to win, I want you guys to spam SUP in the comment section. Isn't that right, Harrison?
Yeah, spam SUP down below. We'll explain what this giveaway is in just a little bit. Type SUPP for a chance to win this giveaway.
All right, so here's what Panda Sups actually is. If you're looking for a little bit of an extra boost before, during, or after your workouts, use Panda Sups. First off, pandas, very cool animals, by the way. We have an exclusive deal for you guys as well. 50% off at pandasups.com if you use the promo code ChatSports. One more time, we'll get in the comment section for you guys too. 50% off, exclusive deal only during the NFL draft at pandasups.com. You got to use the promo code, though, ChatSports. They've got pre-workout. They've got sleep aid as well. My wife swears by that stuff, by the way. Superfoods and, of course, shirts and hoodies and gear and all that kind of stuff. BCAAs, too. The pre-workout stuff will absolutely wire you up, Harrison.
Yeah, you got to
confirm.
You got to get fired up before your workout, especially if you can't go to your gym right now. So go ahead and take advantage of this deal from Panda Sups. Go to pandasups.com and use promo code ChatSports. Also, to win this giveaway, Tom, email us at sups@chatsports.com. You see it on screen. That's sups@chatsports.com. You can already take advantage of the 50% off, but if you want to win the giveaway, got to email us sups@chatsports.com for a chance to win. So we got a trade alert with the number 23 pick. The Patriots are going to trade down, Tom. Talk me through this trade.
This has to be offensive lineman for L.A. Josh Jones is there. Ezra Cleveland is there.
Isaiah Wilson,
which maybe it could be an option there as well, yeah. The Patriots, look, I'm not too surprised here. I think they're trying to, they've dealt out of round one. This is a classic Belichick move. The guy you take at 23, not going to be that different of a grade. The guy you're going to get at 37. I like that move from the Patriots. L.A. goes to get clearly the top, I would assume, offensive lineman left on their board.
Yeah, you got to protect Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert, whoever ends up being your quarterback in 2020. Obviously, they took Herbert number 6 overall. Chargers moving up to get another pick here in round 1 at pick number 23. So it'll be interesting to see what direction they go in.
Interior offensive line also an option here. Ruiz is the best guy I've got left. I think tackle, though, might be the route that this team tries to go. I would, frankly, Harrison, be surprised if there was anything other than a tackle here.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a guard or a center type. I do think it will be a tackle if they go offensive tackle. Josh Jones, as you mentioned, a couple of other options on the board as well. Lucas Niang, interesting prospect. If he didn't have the hip issue this year at TCU, he might have snuck into round 1, but I think he's more of a round 2, round 3 guy. Ezra Cleveland, you predicted him to the Browns. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, but we will see what the Chargers do here at pick number 23.
I'm super curious what route they go. Giving up this much capital, got to be the best guy on the board. I would guess it ends up being a tackle here, but we'll wait and see, won't we?
Any feeling on who? I know you got Cleveland higher.
Maybe Cleveland, maybe Josh Jones, but I would bet tackle, but who knows?
If they draft a tackle, you think Phillip Rivers would be frustrated? They didn't protect him for over half of his career, it seemed like, in Los Angeles. The pick is in with the number 23 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Kenneth Murray, the linebacker out of Oklahoma, goes to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, so now it makes sense why they jumped the Saints in particular to go up and get Kenneth Murray, because I actually had the Saints taking him. This does fill a critical need for L.A. They have been looking for a legitimate number 1 linebacker for quite some time. They've needed one. And they're hoping that Kenneth Murray is that guy. I know as a Big 12 guy, you watched a lot of him, Harrison. What do you think?
Tackling machine, sideline to sideline, runs really well. You see the 40 there, 4'5" guy.
Good athlete.
He's the ideal modern-day linebacker, right? I mean, he can cover. He can blitz a little bit. He gave some pressure at Oklahoma last year. He did have 4 sacks, which is good value there as well. The one thing about Murray is he over-pursues at times. I think he gets a little too jacked up at times, so he takes bad angles on occasion, but typically he makes up for it with his good speed. Like I said, the 4'5", 240. I've watched him a lot. Most people think Oklahoma, they don't play defense. Well, Kenneth Murray doesn't fall into that. He's a really good player. He had 27 tackles in a game against Army a couple of years ago. He's a tackling machine. I know tackles is somewhat of an empty stat, but I think overall the pick of Kenneth Murray, pretty good one. I thought they'd go offensive lineman here, but if you felt that strongly about him, you had to jump the Saints.
Yeah, if you wanted to get the guy, and there's a drop-off after Kenneth Murray to Patrick Queen, of those two guys grouped together, there is a pretty significant drop-off at the linebacker spot. He checks in as my number 28 overall prospect, a round 2 grade, which is about where we're at this point of the draft, so don't worry too much about that. I don't like him going side to side. I like him going north-south. I don't trust him as like a sideline, like having to move and go around there. I don't trust him in coverage quite yet, but I think for the Chargers, moving up docks this just a little bit. Does fill a need. It's kind of an average pick for me, though.
So you give it what, like C+, B minus?
C, just a C.
Okay,
in that round.
Give it a C. So Kenneth Murray, the pick to the Los Angeles Chargers.
We also welcome in our Raiders simulcast right now. Mitchell Rentz, he'll be on here in a little bit as well. But the Raiders, their day is done in round 1, in round 2. So now we welcome back in our Raiders fans here as the Saints are on the clock here, Harrison.
Yeah, Saints on the clock after the pick of Kenneth Murray to the Chargers at number 23 overall. We have a question for you guys. 3 quarterbacks have gone so far, but it's been a while since Herbert went number 6 overall. Who will draft Jordan Love? Will it be the Saints? Will it be the Packers? Will it be someone else? Type S for Saints, type P for Packers, type O for other. Obviously, the Patriots just traded out, Tom, so they're not taking him at least at pick number 23, so it could be someone else.
I think the Colts make a lot of sense. I don't know if they'd be willing to move up for them, though.
I did a recent mock draft with the Chiefs, and I had the Colts trading up from 34 to 32 to get that fifth-year option, to get Jordan Love. I wonder if a team
think that's
like
the
the
late round one. This is about the right range.
I do
for
wonder
Love.
if the Colts would do something like that, because knowing you have Phillip Rivers for 1, maybe 2 years, and Love is a guy that should not play in year 1. So Indy makes sense. Sit behind Rivers for a year or two, learn a little bit, get the fifth-year option for him as well. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah. We are still simulcasting right now on our Cowboys Report channel, correct? We are still simulcasting on Cowboys? Yes. Bad news here. Dak Prescott's brother, Jace, passed away today. So that's some horrible news there for the Cowboys in light of the NFL draft. So, of course, thoughts and prayers to the Prescott family and friends there. But the draft is still going on, Harrison. I thought the Saints might take Kenneth Murray. I wonder now if they go with the LSU kid, Patrick Queen.
Yeah, they could. They need a linebacker there. Quarterback is a need, as you've got your needs listed out there for the Saints. Obviously, they're probably not too thrilled because what most mocks recently had Kenneth Murray there at pick number 24. Queen is an option. Maybe you trade down now that Murray is off the board. We will see what direction New Orleans goes. I
am curious to see what the Saints try to do here. You got a couple LSU kids. Yep. You got Fulton, you got Delpit, although those might not really fill the biggest needs for those particular organizations, Harrison.
Yeah, you got Gladney out of TCU. A couple of cornerbacks left on the board. Quite frankly, options that were better than Damon Arnett, who went to the Raiders at number 19. So while Murray's not there, I still think the Saints are in a pretty good spot overall.
Yeah, I am curious to see what they do here. You've got – I like safeties. I actually got 3 safeties right now left on my top 5, but that's just me. I know that I'm higher on safeties than most people, but –
think they'd go safety here?
I don't think that they would. Those are just kind of my top guys. Yeah. I think maybe you go Patrick Queen. Maybe you try and look at an edge player too. I mean, Zach Bond is there.
Bond could be an option.
Yorgos Matos is there. I'm really high on Josh Uche. I'm just curious to see how they end up going here.
Yeah, AJ Epinesa is there, obviously. He did not test well at the Combine, not a bendy player, more of a kind of an old-school defensive end, an Eric Armstead type, who's a little bigger, plays more with power. He's still on the board. Uche, like you mentioned, is available. Zach Bond is another edge option for the Saints or any other team looking to draft late here in round 1.
So Saints at 24. They still got a couple minutes left on the clock as we've kind of almost got a bit of a lull here during the NFL draft. Still plenty of picks left in round 1. We thank the nearly 30K still watching us right now. We really do appreciate it here at Chat Sports. And reminder, we'll be live tomorrow and day 3 as well. So, Harrison, why don't we recap what's happened so far in case people are just now tuning in?
Yeah, so we've been live. The draft kicked off about 3 hours ago, and Joe Burrow was the number 1 pick. The Bengals actually called him yesterday to let him know that he would be the selection. Chase Young goes to the Redskins, the edge out of Ohio State with the number 2 pick. Jeff Okudah, the Ohio State corner, he went number 3 to the Lions. And then Andrew Thomas, kind of the first surprise of the night, the offensive tackle out of Georgia, he goes to the Giants, Tom.
So it's been a kind of a chalky draft early, Harrison.
Yeah, Tua, Justin Herbert, back-to-back quarterbacks, Dolphins and Chargers respectively. Derek Brown, the defensive tackle out of Auburn, he goes to the Panthers. Isaiah Simmons, maybe my favorite pick so far, he fell to the Cardinals at number 8. Then it was C.J. Henderson, the Florida cornerback, to the Jaguars. Jedrick Wills Jr., the offensive tackle, he goes to pick number 10 to the Browns. Mekhi Becton, another tackle, to the Jets. Then Henry Ruggs III was the first receiver off the board to the Las Vegas Raiders. 13 through 16, Tristan Wirfs. This was a trade where the Bucs moved up a spot to take the tackle out of Iowa. Javon Kinlaw became the pick for the 49ers, who fell from 13 to 14 in that trade. The defensive lineman out of South Carolina. Jerry Jeudy to Denver at 15. And then AJ Terrell, the cornerback out of Clemson, he goes to the Falcons with pick number 16. 17 through 20 as we recap the draft so far. CeeDee Lamb, I know a personal favorite of yours.
Yeah,
he goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Austin Jackson, maybe one of the biggest shockers, the offensive tackle to Miami. And then obviously a couple of other picks, Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson, Kenneth Murray, and now Cesar Ruiz to the New Orleans Saints. With the 24th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Cesar Ruiz, the offensive lineman out of Michigan. Has some guard center flexibility, Tom.
This is interesting for me out of the Saints, given how much they've invested at that spot in recent years. I I didn't think they were necessarily going to go with another interior offensive lineman. I kind of thought they were in pretty good shape here. So this one, I like the player, Harrison, but this is kind of an interesting pick for me.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of a fringe round 1, round 2 guy.
Value's about right.
I thought the Chiefs at 32 could have been an option for Ruiz, but he goes a little higher than I had expected. He goes to the Saints with the number 24 overall pick. He's only 20, so a young prospect here who's got some upside, but the first interior offensive lineman is off the board.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely betting on upside with Ruiz here. They drafted Eric McCoy last year. I thought he played pretty well. They moved up for him. They signed Larry Wofford not that long ago. They just paid Andres Pete. They have Nick Eason as a backup as well. Color me surprised by this pick, and now I wonder if maybe Wofford's on the trade block or a potential cut down the road. The Saints like to invest in the offensive line. Terran Armstead, they paid him heavily. Andres Pete paid him. He was a round 1 pick. Ryan Ramczyk was a first-round pick. And, maybe, I don't think you look moving on from Ramczyk, but I think this is another option on the interior. Maybe it doesn't start right away because of your depth. Maybe you move on from Larry Wofford. But this is a 20-year-old offensive lineman who got better as the year went on and hasn't yet hit his peak. I thought Miami at 26 might have been his best spot here. He's a really good athlete. If you want a player comp from him, think of the former Bronco, now New York Jet, starting center/guard Connor McGovern.
This feels like maybe it's a BPA pick. Maybe the Saints had him higher on their board than than some other teams did, and they said, hey, we're going to take the best player available. We're not just going to think about this year. Because remember, the Saints are in a position, Tom, where they don't necessarily need to draft, for just this year. They have a lot of good players. They're obviously a contending team, so they're thinking about the future as well. So grade the pick for us, A, B, C, D, or F.
Makes me think that the Saints kind of got scraped up here and ended up wanted to take. Look, you got to take care of your body, right? Right, Harrison?
Yes.
That doesn't just include eating well. It also makes sure that you groom yourself well, and your significant other will thank you, and your balls will thank you as well with the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. You can get 20% off, folks, on the lawnmower on their /chat. That will automatically apply 20% off for you. Harrison, I was talking to your fiance, and she said that she really needed this for you.
Whoa. That is TMI, Tom. Wow.
Hey, man, what am I going to do if she slides in my DMs?
Stick to your love life. I'll stick to my love life. Manscaped.com/chat. I will say.
Do you need this one?
Very good product. No, I'm set back home.
Okay.
I'm good to go. I've already used this bad boy. Manscaped.com/chat, 20% off. You are just getting under my skin right now. As does the lawnmower.
Hey, it's not going to cut you up, though.
Hey,
it's not what it does.
In all honesty, eliminate razor burn. Just go to Manscaped.
Yeah. All right, so we got a joke. What did Cinderella do when she got to the ball? I'm a little surprised Mitch didn't get to do this one. Do you have a guess here, Harrison?
I don't have a guess.
Okay.
This is out of left field for me.
We will let some come in here. But when Cinderella got to the ball, someone said danced. I saw someone get it right, so we'll give it away. Come on. Seriously?
F. I know Mitchell
That's a great joke.
I know Mitchell Renz came up with this one.
Mitch is giggling over there in the corner.
It's a bad joke. I'm giving it an F. Grade the joke, A, B, C, D, or F. I don't think it's very good.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's a great joke.
Manscaped is an A.
It's a little dirty, but
the joke is an F.
Yeah, just saying.
All right, Vikings fans, type skull, represent the Vikings in the comment section as we get back on track here at our live 2020 NFL draft coverage. Type skull. We'll get some shout-outs going here, Tom, as Vikings fans try to represent themselves down in the comments.
Yeah, I think you guys can show up. You already got a receiver in Justin Jefferson. Now I'm looking at Epinesa, the edge out of Iowa. I think fits typically what they don't mind doing. And then I think corner here makes sense. I mocked them Christian Fulton. I'm a big fan of his. I would love it if that was the pick here by Minnesota. They do love their corners.
I like Fulton for whatever reason. It seems like the NFL is not as high on him as you are or I am. But I think at pick 25, he is
a little hit and miss there, Harrison.
Yeah, the Treadwell one stands out to me. He was expected to be very good, and he's done basically zero. Trey Wayne's a good pick, but obviously he is no longer in the mix. Garrett Bradbury, I thought that was a reach last year. I thought he was more of a round 2 guy. So they really need to hit here, do the Minnesota Vikings.
I think you took care of receiver, so now you're looking at defense. And, maybe safety could be an option if they try to trade Anthony Harris on day 2 or day 3.
You got to keep that in mind because they're certainly open to trading Harris for the right offer. Grant Delpit is an option. Xavier McKinney is still on the board, so we will see what they do here at pick number 25.
So Vikings here, they are on the clock, although I think they might just be moving out here, Harrison.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a trade as the Vikings, we're still waiting for official word, but they are trading out of pick number 25 as we speak. We'll get those details to you guys as soon as we have them.
I am being told that it is the 49ers who are coming up here, so they trade down. Now they're jumping up.
Got to be a receiver, right?
I could see Trayvon Diggs.
Corner or
receiver? He fits what they want to do at corner. But maybe it's receiver. Denzel Mims is there. Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Receivers have been falling, so San Francisco needs a receiver. So if they felt like they couldn't wait till 31, move up to 25 and get your guy.
Very interesting what's going on here. San Francisco has jumped onto the clock at number 25 overall. I think we're going to bring Thomas Mott here as we continue to simulcast on our Niners and our main chat sports channel. Surprise, Niners fans, you're back on the clock here at number 25 overall. Get your comments going. Who do you think San Francisco is going to pick as we will transition Harrison Graham away and bring on Thomas Mott as well? So, Mott, initial reaction here. What do you think San Francisco's doing?
Well, it's a good thing I had my phone on me, and my boss Brett texted me to get on quickly because I'm watching the draft on my TV, so I'm streaming it in. I'm not watching on cable, so I'm like a minute behind. I had no idea that they made this trade. I have no idea what they gave up, but you got to think wide receiver, right? This has got to be San Francisco moving up to get their wide receiver. But let me ask you this, Tom, and we're going to get the details of the trade here in a second. San Francisco has no second or third round draft picks. What did they give up to come back into the first round? It's probably 31 plus that 4th round draft pick that they got originally for their first trade. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right on that one. I just saw these come across. They are giving up 117, which is that 4th round pick they got from the Bucs. They are also moving pick number 176, that late 4th round pick. So they're moving up for somebody they desperately wanted, Thomas.
Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out who that is. We know it's going to be a wide receiver unless they, want to make me 0 for 3 tonight with all my wrong picks I've had so far. If it's a wide receiver, it's either going to be Denzel Mims out of Baylor, it could be Laviska Shenault, or kind of a closet guy who was at once thought to be the best receiver in this draft, T. Higgins out of Clemson. I mean, T. Higgins has seen a massive drop in his draft stock since he was, I think, pre-draft considered to be one of the top 3, top 4 guys. This feels like it could be a T. Higgins, and if not Higgins, then probably Denzel Mims.
Yeah, I think receiver, looking at my top guys, I'll rattle these off real fast as this pick is almost in. Denzel Mims, Laviska Shenault, T. Higgins, KJ Hamler, Brandon Aiyuk, all top 50 prospects on the board for me. But Thomas, this pick is in. After trading up to number 25 overall, Thomas Mott, the San Francisco 49ers have selected Brandon Aiyuk, the wide receiver out of Arizona State.
All right, so for everyone who hates on Mel Kiper's mock drafts, you got to give Mel this one. Mel Kiper had Brandon Aiyuk coming back into the first round when no one else did. To me, Brandon Aiyuk was a early second-round draft pick. He was behind, in my opinion, a Mims, and he was definitely behind a T. Higgins, and you probably could put him behind a Jalen or a Laviska Shenault as well, but you are getting a receiver who has a tremendous upside, a tremendous ability to become a number 1 wide receiver. They're making this pick for the potential that he has, not necessarily what he's done at Arizona State, although he did have a very good season last year with the with Arizona State. But you get a guy like Brandon Aiyuk, and you're expecting him to become the number 1 wide receiver. You see the size there, perfect size as a wide receiver. Obviously, 4.5 is not as quick as they were hoping. And again, we had talked about the 49ers getting that deep threat vertical wide receiver. Brandon Aiyuk can still be that fantastic catch radius and the ability to catch those jump balls. I like the pick, but the question is he the next best receiver on the board? Was this the next best guy? Did all the mock drafts have it wrong? Or is San Francisco reaching a little bit and going over the Denzel Mims of the world, going over the T. Higgins of the world for Brandon Aiyuk?
I'm going to bring up a nickname for Brandon Aiyuk for what you Niners fans can expect. It's Brandon Aiyuk because that's where he wins. He is a playmaker and a monster in yards after the catch. He is explosive. He's not necessarily a true burner, but he was a good return man. He's effective in screens. This Niners offense with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk is going to be a potentially dynamic option in terms of after the catch for San Francisco. That's pretty impressive there. My concerns here are this. Had a core muscle surgery back on April 6th. I thought it might drop him out of round 1. Although he projects as a possible downfield threat in terms of his size and his catch radius and his hands, he wasn't that at Arizona State. Now, I tend to blame that on the quarterback play, but last year, Thomas, he had one catch of 20-plus yards downfield in terms of in the air. That's not great.
Well, and exactly what you said in terms of he's projecting to be a downfield player, and they're probably hoping that Kyle Shanahan can scheme him open to create him and make him become a down-to-the-field player. But now you look at San Francisco's offense, which you just mentioned. I talked about it at number 14 overall when they decided to go defense. The offense has very few holes. The only hole was a wide receiver. And for an offseason that was filled with, will they go ahead and keep Jimmy Garoppolo? Could they sign Tom Brady? They have now gone to Jimmy Garoppolo and basically said, Jimmy, listen, we trust you. We're going to get you a little bit extra help here and getting you another wide receiver, and hopefully you take that offense to the next level. Now, we know the Niner passing game with George Kittle was very, very good last year, and obviously Deebo Samuel started a little bit slow and then eventually became honestly a bright spot in the passing attack of San Francisco. But other than Samuel and George Kittle, they basically had no one. Kendrick Bourne, a drop machine. Dante Pettis, MIA. We haven't seen anything from him in a long time. And Marquise Goodwin, about to turn 30 years old and had 12 catches last year. They had to get a wide receiver. Maybe it's not the one that Niner fans were expecting, but we got to trust Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, who have had very good drafts, obviously, during their short tenure as GM and head coach of San Francisco. They must have liked this guy enough and figured he would not be there at 31 to come up 6 picks to number 25 overall. Get rid of that 4th-round draft pick I praised them for getting and go ahead and land Brandon Aiyuk from Arizona State.
Maybe they were worried about a team like Seattle or even Miami or Baltimore or Green Bay taking him. There were some teams that could go receiver there. I'm not that high on Aiyuk. I thought there were better receivers on the board. But in terms of fit, I worry you might have to scheme for him early. Guess what? You're going to be able to do that with the Kyle Shanahan offense. So I do like that perspective from San Francisco, even though I had better receivers on the board. Now, I will remind everybody this pick is brought to you by Manscaped. Take care of your junk. Your balls will thank you, and it won't be uncomfortable and hairy and itchy because nobody wants that. Nobody. Not your significant other. Nobody involved. Manscaped.com/chat. That's manscaped.com/chat will save you 20% off on the Lawnmower 3.0. They got a whole bunch of other items on there as well. You can get their perfect package, which includes some refreshments, I'll call them, for your balls. I think you guys know what I'm implying there. Manscaped.com/chat. That will save you 20% off. We'll get that link in the comments and the description for you guys as well. The pick is in for the Miami Dolphins. DeAndre Swift goes number 26 overall to the Dolphins. They don't go offensive line. They go running back instead. The general consensus number 1 offense or back on the board. I like J.K. Dobbins better. DeAndre Swift goes number 26 overall out of Georgia. The Dolphins now have their stud back. They did add Jordan Howard in free agency. Now they get Swift in round 1, number 26 overall, the first running back off the board as we bring in Harrison Graham. Welcome back for the Dolphins pick.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift, the first running back off the board. Kind of a curious couple of picks after taking Tua, number 5 overall from Miami. They go Austin Jackson, the tackle out of USC at 18. Now they get DeAndre Swift. They do need a running back, to be fair.
Yeah, they do.
I kind of lead toward you more, though, that I don't know if drafting a running back in the first round really makes sense anymore unless it's a Christian McCaffrey who's going to catch you 80-plus balls every single year. But Swift does have some game-breaking ability. He's a good player. Maybe it's a little rich for him, but he probably was the most complete back in this year's draft.
And so we'll see what ends up being what the Dolphins end up doing with the rest of their second-round picks. How about a comp here for you? How about D'Angelo Williams? At his best, of course, yeah. He had the best yards per carry in Georgia history, even more than Todd Gurley did.
I think he's Duke Johnson, but he can run the ball.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think he's a receiving wise, he's Duke Johnson, but he's a good runner as well. He's got some speed. I think he's got some big play ability. I thought he'd be more of an early round 2 guy, but overall he goes number 26.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a trade at the last second here. So the Dolphins have traded down last second. The Packers are now on the clock at number 30 overall. Okay. How about this one? Last second move here. Interesting from Green Bay. I'm curious. The Packers give up pick number 136 overall.
So the Dolphins actually backed out of this pick. This is what we are hearing. That Swift was going to be the pick, but at the last minute, they have found a trade partner with the Green Bay Packers, who are now on the clock here at pick number 26.
So Packers bail here. The Dolphins bail here last second, and Green Bay is now on the clock in round 1. Got to be receiver, or is it Patrick Queen? Getting ahead of the Ravens.
I would love Denzel Mims here.
I love Mims' fit with Green Bay. I really do.
I think it's a good fit. I think it's what they need. I think he's an ideal weapon opposite of Devontae Adams, both stylistically and just for the fact that they need a number 2 receiver. They have not had one in a while. Valdez-Scantling, I think, can be a number 3 type. You put him in the slot, but he is not a number 2. I think Mims can be that guy.
I think a linebacker or receiver here is the likely path for the Green Bay Packers. There has been an early run on receivers so far. Brandon Aiyuk, a surprise pick in round 1. Curious to see what Green Bay does. It's fascinating here.
Yeah, trading up from pick number 30 to 26 here. So just sliding up a few spots.
A last-second move.
Feels like receiver to me because a lot have gone recently. So if they're serious about getting Mims or one of the top guys, you got to move up to get them because there's been a run of them here in round 1.
I think Patrick Queen makes sense here for the Packers if they want to go linebacker. That jumps them over Baltimore.
Yep.
Maybe they're worried about Seattle or the Ravens as well.
Ravens could go Queen or Mims.
That they absolutely
quite frankly,
could.
They have similar needs, Baltimore and Green Bay do.
I mocked Denzel Mims to Green Bay. Shenault, Higgins, and Hamler might not end up going in round 1, especially with the medical concerns around Shenault. If they wanted Mims, this might have been the time to go up and get him.
I don't love Shenault in Green Bay because he's kind of a do-it-all type of player, and I don't think with Aaron Rodgers, he's running the show. Like, he's not going to give up snaps for Shenault to do some weird Wildcat stuff, which is how you can use him. So we will see what the pick ends up being here for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, so that pick will be in just a minute, but maybe they end up doing something crazy here instead. They jump Seattle, Baltimore, and Tennessee to get up to this pick.
With the number 26 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers have traded up to select Jordan Love, the Utah State quarterback, a true stunner. Not only, Tom, do the Packers trade up, they take maybe Aaron Rodgers' heir apparent.
No maybe about it. You trade up in round 1 to get a quarterback. This is your heir apparent for the Green Bay Packers. When the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre was 35 years old. Today, the Packers draft Jordan Love when Aaron Rodgers is 35 years old. So Love goes to Green Bay, one of the biggest boom or bust prospects in this year's draft class. I loved him in 2018. The production was awesome, made a bunch of plays. This past year, he regressed. And part of that was because that Utah State team was garbage. It was Jordan Love and one other returning starter. I think it was a right tackle on the offensive line. The release is pretty. The upside is awesome. He's got the size, the athletic ability. There are some incredible gutsy throws that make perfect sense, that are just incredible to watch. I want to love him. But man, this year was not good. There were a lot of mistakes. He needs time to sit and develop. His fit is going to be essential. Green Bay's a pretty darn good fit for him.
It is. Look, you sit behind a guy who's done it for a long time. Now, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is the type to groom a young quarterback, but nonetheless, we'll get to learn some from behind one of the all-time greats in Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is maybe the most YOLO quarterback I've ever watched. Like, he will make throws where you're just, blown away in terms of greatness, and then he'll make decisions where you're like, dude, there's not even a receiver in the camera frame when you threw that ball. What are you thinking? He's got the physical tools. Keep in mind, too, Tom, new coaching staff last year at Utah State, as most of that staff left.
Was it Green Bay, or if they wasted a first-round pick at the back end of Aaron Rodgers' career there? It's a fascinating situation. One note on Jordan Love, by the way. He wanted to be named, his dad wanted to name him Michael Jordan Love. That was overruled by his mother there. So we'll see about Jordan Love. Check back in 2 years, and we'll see how he's doing in Green Bay. This one probably won't make much of an impact next year.
All right, the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. And, Tom, a couple of years ago when the Seahawks made their pick, this was your reaction.
Yeah, this was the Rashad Penny pick. DeAndre Swift is off the board, so you're in the clear, Seattle. Don't worry about it. You don't have to take it.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't got to go back this year.
I'm thinking Jonathan Taylor here, Tom. That's
what
I'm
feeling.
That's what I'm feeling. JT.
If they go
another
running back,
another running back who can't catch to Seattle.
If
who
they
says
go
no?
running back, I'm out. There's no way that's the route they go here. I think offensive line, defensive line, receiver. That's the path you go.
Josh
if you're
Jones.
Seattle, A, they love to trade down.
Yep.
And B, they do some weird stuff. I'll tell you that. And I cannot tell you the last time I've done it. By the way, I have limited faith in them based on historical track record.
So Tom's
Hasn't been great.
Tom's not very confident, but maybe you Seahawks fans are. Will Seattle make a good pick? Type Y for yes, type N for no. LJ Collier.
Swift is there.
Not
Forgot
looking very good last
is
year.
on the board.
By the way, Swift is available
You're right,
because
the Dolphins traded down.
The Dolphins decided not to take him at the last second.
Oh, God.
They might do it.
Don't know. They're not going to do it.
Type Y
There's
for yes,
no
type
way
N for
they
no.
do it.
Do you think they'll make a good pick here?
I hope that they do. They kind of need one after their recent track record, quite frankly.
Yetur Gross-Matos?
I wouldn't mind that one. I didn't mock him in round one, but I thought Seattle made a lot of sense there. I think edge or offensive line are all good options for the
because they have a lot of needs, but they're still a good team because they have Russell Wilson. I'm higher on the coaching staff. I know you don't like the way they approach things, but they're coming off another year in the playoffs. So if you get another impact player here, that could certainly maybe take them over the top in the NFC West.
Sorry about the little hiccup there I think we had on our stream. Our apologies, folks. Yeah.
Collier's better in there, then you get a good edge rusher. I think it makes sense.
I agree with that one there. All right, Harrison, let's play a game here for you. How about that?
All right, let's do it. I'm slacking on Twitter. You and Mitch, you guys just run laps around me. So let's get me some followers at HGramNFL on Twitter. I'm at 731. We got 24,000 live on YouTube. Can I get to 1,000? That's like 0.2% of you guys follow me on Twitter. I think we can get there. I'll pull up my Twitter page here. We'll get some shout-outs going here as they come in. So I'm at 731 as of now.
We can get you to
I think we can get to
grand.
1,000.
That's doable here.
How many did you get earlier when you did it? There were a few more watching earlier.
I didn't
Lost
check.
count?
There were so many coming in because you guys are awesome. I have no idea.
So we appreciate you guys who follow us on social media at HGramNFL. I'm waiting for these to populate. All right, here we go. John Waldeck, Mr. Payne, CJ Larson, Affirmative Athletics, Momo Trader. These are coming in pretty quick here, Tom, so I'm trying to refresh as fast as I can. Taylor, Money Mike, Kames Jarls, John Waldeck, as you guys continue to follow me on Twitter. Greatly appreciate it. I'll shout out as many of you guys as I can. I'm at HGramNFL. Try and help me get to 1,000 followers on Twitter.
All right, so Seattle's recent round one picks as well. Thank you very much for that. To everyone following Harrison, I should say. This is not great. This is not great, Harrison. These recent picks by the Seattle Seahawks. You guys are reacting, and I don't like this. I don't know what just happened, but I think something happened here. So we'll see what happens here.
Wow.
But
you look at recent history, LJ Collier, Rashad Penny, Jermaine Ifedi, who's now with the Bears, Bruce Irvin, James Carpenter.
Okay, I'm not going to look. My head is down. I'm not looking.
We're waiting for the pick to come
You guys
in
got me
for
worried
the
here.
Seattle Seahawks.
You guys got me worried. Let me know when I'm allowed to look back up.
With the number 27 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Seattle's Texas Tech.
But why? So fun fact, shout out Jordyn Brooks for being right. He told me at the Combine he thought he was going to go in round one. I don't know why you would take Jordyn Brooks over Patrick Queen.
That's pretty shocking.
I don't know what Seattle's doing here. This isn't a major need for them. Look, Jordyn Brooks has some great athletic ability. I don't really trust him in coverage right now. As a downhill attacker, he's fine. Harrison, you've watched a ton of Big 12 football. What do you make of Jordyn Brooks?
I do like Brooks. I think he's like a round 3 guy, though, which is what he is. What you graded him as. Look, incredibly productive. He had like 340 tackles in 4 seasons, 4-year starter at Texas Tech. Kind of like Kenneth Murray with Oklahoma. He is not the Texas Tech sucks on defense, so all their players suck. He's not that. He's a good player, but round one,
where are you playing him?
It's F, right? Is this the first
You
F?
have Bobby Wagner. You still got KJ Wright. Are you going to dump KJ Wright? He's been a 3rd-round pick last year on Cody Barton, 5th-round pick on Ben Burke-Irvin. You got Shaq Griffin.
Trade the pick. It's got to be an F.
I don't understand
Especially with Queen on the board.
I am so surprised by this pick.
What's their scouting department do every year? Do they just not watch film?
Okay, let me try and Seahawks fans are gonna be pissed at me, whatever. I'm right, but it's fine because you haven't drafted well in the first round like 4 years. Jordyn Brooks, think Zach Brown. Gonna be a tackling machine, 20 tackles for losses, an All-American at Texas Tech. I think he's best in a downhill scheme. Yeah. Good athlete, 4.54 40-yard dash. He's a good run stopper. He can shed blocks. He's a good athlete. He's not good in coverage.
No.
He's going to turn 23 as a first-year player. I don't trust him in coverage. And if I don't trust the player in coverage at linebacker, what am I doing with him?
Yeah, I mean,
he's your 3rd-best linebacker. In the 2020 NFL season, and with where we are, you don't spend a first-round pick on your 3rd-best linebacker in a 4-3 scheme. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's bad. Especially, I mean, you just look at that division, too. Like, the Cardinals are going to be slinging it 50 times a game. How is he going to drop back in coverage? The Rams want to throw the ball a bunch. I just don't love this pick overall for the Seahawks.
Yeah, so Niners fans, we're going to end your stream here in a little bit along with our Cowboys Report stream, so make sure you're over here on our main channel. Who has more wins, Seattle or the 49ers, 12 or 49, Harrison?
I mean, the 49ers, especially after that, I don't want to overreact to one draft pick. I just think the 49ers are a more complete team. Obviously, Russell Wilson's better than Jimmy G, but 49ers have a top 5 defense. They have a top 10 offense. They're well coached. They have good ownership. I just like what that organization is doing right now. Now, maybe there's a Super Bowl loss hangover. I don't really necessarily believe in that. The schedule will certainly be tougher, but I'm going with the 49ers.